gestures of closeness and welcome, and she knows that in every rejected migrant, it is Christ himself who knocks at the door of the community. And the United Nations is slashing its peacekeeping forces around the world due to a lack of funds. A senior UN official told Reuters it's cutting 1/4 of its peacekeepers in the coming months as future funding from the U.S. remains uncertain. The U.S. is the program's largest contributor. For more news with a Catholic perspective, visit EWTNnews.com. Take Two with Jerry and Debbie starts now.
Hello there, and welcome to your show, Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you. I'm Debbie Georgiani, and Jerry Usher will be with us shortly, and I'm waiting for you because we've got a very interesting question today that I would love an answer from the Take Two family. Okay, so listen to this, think about it for a little bit, and then call in and tell us what it would be. What would your dream come true be? Okay, what would your dream come true be? Now, I don't want to have all the phone lines light up and say, to win the lottery, okay? We all know that's probably a dream come true for so many. But what would your dream come true? What would it be? We would love to hear from you. You don't have to be Catholic to call in. This is your show, and we're a live call-in show. Matt is on the phones, ready to answer your call. Think about it for a moment, then share with the world. If you don't want to give us your first name, if you could give us a middle name, a confirmation name, or a name that you wish that your parents had given you when you were younger. We all had that. If you've watched the Brady Bunch, I remember my friends saying to their parents, why didn't you call me Marcia or Jan or Cindy? Seriously. Now I'm just dating myself because I'm going to be 60 in a couple weeks. Okay, so what would your dream come true be? We'd love to hear from you, and let's explore this together. Let's look at how everybody dreams big, and I love that. And the number to do that, phone lines are lighting up. You got big dreams, the Take Two family does. 833-288 EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. Like I said, Matt is on the phones, Michael is at the controls, and Pedro's on social media. I'm waving to everybody. Hi, guys. It's so good. Put your dreams in the chats, okay? We want to keep that going there. I love those virtual communities that are built on the social media platforms. So what would your dream come true? What would it be? Okay, if you have just when you're in the just the downtimes of, I should say, when you don't have to work, when you're off of work and you're on that time when you can just daydream, right? And you're thinking, I just want to dream my life away. What would it look like? What's something you want to wish for, or something you think about, that's an interesting thing. Maybe I'll do that when I retire. Things like that. We want to know what your dream come true would be. Number is 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. And on your off time, and even on your downtime of things, you could really be thinking that maybe you need to do the next steps to have that dream come true. And maybe there's certain things you could be doing now by way of prayer and by taking action in certain areas that could maybe help to make those things come to be. And that's a wonderful thing if you can work towards that, and especially when it's God's will, right? When it's God's will, God has just an amazing way of putting the right people, places, and things in view so that you can move towards those wonderful, extraordinary life, because Jesus said, I came for you to have life and to have it to the full. A lot of people think that just means just an abundance of everything, but it means to experience life to the fullest. So what would your dream come true be? That's the question we're asking today. I want to hear from you. Phone lines are lighting up. That's great. That means you are active in this conversation, in this episode, to share with the world. And let's see how we can bring it into our spiritual lives. 833-288-EWTN, 3986. And we also have a texting feature that is very popular here on Take Two. You text the letters EWTN to 58177. You wait for our response. Then you text us your first name and put in what your dream would be. Okay? Just know that message and data rates may apply. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, Jerry and Debbie Facebook page. We always try to post things there that are relevant to the topics that we are discussing. Also, find my personal Facebook page. Just look for Debbie Georgiani, and please follow me there too. That would be great. You can always email us, take2, it's the number 2, or you can spell it out, take2 at EWTN.com. And then we've got the chats going strong as well. So many ways to connect with us and reach us. Oh, by the way, we are getting a lot of emails coming in. Jerry and I and our producer, Michael, we're reading everything and we're responding. We're a little bit behind because we've gotten a lot recently. Just know that we have read everything, okay? And boy, do we have some deep emails that have come in, and some do require a response. I'm going to work on that this weekend. And then also some of you are trying to make some connections with previous callers that have called in, that have expressed a need. We don't really have that ability we don't keep numbers and things like that. So we don't have the ability to connect people in that way. So just pray, hopefully maybe that person will call back or something of that nature, because God has a way of letting us reconnect. But I love the heart of the Take Two family. You guys always care about each other and want to help each other and meet each other. And I think it's wonderful. Maybe in the near future, we can put together another Take Two retreat or pilgrimage. That would be fantastic. Okay, but we'd love to hear from you. What would your dream come true be? We'd love for you to answer that question. And all you have to do is dial in 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. Karen in North Dakota is going to be first. So Karen, I need you to stay with us because I could say hello to you, but then I'm going to have to go straight to break. So Karen, hold on. You're going to be first from North Dakota, and the others as they come in with the calls. So please dial in if you'd like to share your dreams. How big do you go big with God? Do you dream big? Or have you given up dreaming because you're like, oh, it's never going to happen for me? Or do you still, hold out that idea of someday, just someday, maybe when I have, when the kids are grown, or I'm retired, or I have enough money in the bank, I'm going to do this, or I want to be here in the world, or whatever. The beautiful thing about dreams is it all centers around our imagination, which is a wonderful thing. It's a God-given gift. And so let's really explore it together as the body of Christ. 833-288 EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. Okay, I've given the number at least a half a dozen times. That means it's your time now and your chance and your turn to call in and share with the world about your dreams. And we love to share together and also pray for one another. Okay, so Karen in North Dakota, hold tight. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back and Jerry will be with us. And we're going to continue this wonderful live episode of Take Two when I come back.
When you want reliable Catholic news and insights from influential Catholic figures, tune in to Catholic Connection with Teresa Tomeo every weekday morning at 9 Eastern on EWTN Radio Extra.
Join Archbishop Jose Gomez in sharing the good news.
Immaculate Mary is the one who brings us Jesus Christ in every time and every place. This is the beautiful role that God has given to her in salvation history. And this is the beautiful role that she plays in each one of our lives. Mary has a mother's concern for us and always pays attention to our needs. We need to abandon our cares and concerns to her. She will take care of us, even if we need a miracle. We can turn to Mary and ask for her guidance and for her help as we walk in the footsteps of Jesus.
Visit lacatholics.org to find ways to connect with our faith community in the Archdiocese of Los Angeles.
Draw closer to Jesus from the foot of the cross. The EWTN Learn series, 7 Last Words, will help you encounter the suffering of Jesus in a new and more personal way. Sign up at EWTN.com/7lastwords today.
We're talking about dreams today and dreaming big, and actually dreaming big with God, because God goes big with us. So Karen's going to be up first. If you'd like to join the conversation, please dial in 833-288 EWTN 833-288-3986. Wanted to share Advent and Christmas with Mother Angelica. Regardless of what pain or burden you may be carrying, Mother Angelica invites you to discover the lasting peace and happiness found in the child who is coming, and offers you ways to add straw to his manger. These meditations are drawn from the finest episodes of Mother's popular television show, in which she offers penetrating advice on how to set Christ at the vibrant center of your holiday celebrations. Drawing from her real-life experience as a child from a broken home and whose mother struggled to make ends meet, Mother Angelica unveils the true meaning of Christmas. And there's so many points of this that you will love, like how to cultivate the expectant faith of Our Lady during Advent, the best gifts you can give to Jesus and others, how to cope with the suffering of loved ones during the Christmas season. So much more to this. Advent and Christmas with Mother Angelica, cultivating a faithful heart for Christmas with Mother Angelica. It's available right now at EWTNRC.com. Okay, so Karen is going to be first, and Karen is in North Dakota, listening on our friends at Real Presence Radio. Hi, Karen. Welcome.
Good morning, Jerry and Debbie.
Good morning. Go right ahead.
Well, actually, when I think about it, the good Lord has made all my dreams come true.
Aww.
The first one I remember is seeing The Sound of Music with my dad when I was about 6.
Mm-hmm.
And walking home, I bet my mouth was probably going a mile a minute. And I told him, Dad, someday I'm going there. And in 2003, our son and I got to go.
Wow.
It was fabulous.
Oh, my goodness. And you said that at such a young age.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And all I remember is walking home with him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was
wow.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that is so true. Isn't it interesting how that was put on your mind and your heart? And you just said it so naturally, and then it came to fruition, which is so incredible. It always just amazes me about our God. You know, it's like he knows every he knows every hair on our head, right? So he knows every detail in our heart. Wow. Pretty incredible.
Absolutely.
So Karen, what would you say to others that, on their downtime, right? They have, they're thinking, they're maybe processing something they want to do in the future. But, a lot of people, it's unfortunate. They've lost some element of hope, or all hope sometimes. And that's really sad. What do you say to people, to inspire people who are just going, well, that's great for Karen. It worked out for her. But, I have a lot of disappointment in my life.
I would say think back and be aware of our good Lord knows the desires of our heart, and he answers. I promise he answers.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. And keep that faith, right? Keep that trust. It's like John Paul II saying, never, ever, ever, ever give up, right? It's that
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Before I let you go, tell me a little, I love how you brought back your memory with your dad. Tell us a little bit more about your relationship with your father.
Well, my father was first generation German, and his mother is, I think, the one who really inspired me and has been praying for me all my life.
Wow.
We have a great devotion to the Rosary, and he loved Mother Mary so much.
Oh, your dad did? Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Well, you were blessed. You're blessed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you for being first up, and thank you for just sharing with us that dreams do come true, and you got to share it with your son. Tell us about that. What was the trip like?
It was like a dream.
Mm-hmm.
I remember just walking around and just thinking, somebody pinch me. I am dreaming.
Right.
It was the best.
Wow. Karen, before go ahead.
He fulfilled the latest dream. Was our granddaughter went into the Army. She graduated from boot camp on last Friday, and my dream for her was, I hope somebody hears her singing. And she told no one, not her parents, anybody. She was chosen to sing the national anthem.
Wow.
For her ceremony,
mm-hmm.
and received a Medal of Excellence for it.
Amazing.
God is so good.
Oh, all the time. That is incredible. That's another dream come true, Karen. There's something about your family. I think you have this appreciation of big things happening, and you're the way you envision things, the way you imagine things, you're imagining it in a wide fashion. So it's very interesting, even like what you just said about your granddaughter. So I find that interesting. I wonder if that's a theme throughout your whole entire family, because some people, when they dream in a very narrow way, a very controlled way, and then some people dream very wide. And it sounds like you're dreaming in the wide version. What do you say?
Jesus.
Yeah. Praise
be Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Go big with God, Karen. I love it. Tell the fine folks at Real Presence Radio we said hello. Okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. Okay, we're getting more calls that are coming in. If you'd like to join the conversation, we're talking about really dreaming big today. And, Karen got me thinking about, this idea of when she was younger, thinking of going on this trip. She saw, The Sound of Music, and it's just so important to keep those dreams alive in your mind, throughout your whole life. And then when they do happen, you can look back and say, this is so incredible. When was the first time I actually had this thought? Well, it was when I was younger. And Karen got me thinking, that's kind of similar to what happened in my family. It was a big joke for many, many years, pretty much my whole life, that it was this joke that my mom was going to go to Italy before she died. She always wanted to see Italy. And, everybody said, oh, she's not going to go. There's no way she's going to go. No way she's going to get her passport. She's not going to do it. And Marty and I took my mom to Italy in 2013. And it's just so amazing. That was 10 years before she passed, and she went to Italy, and and she kept saying the same thing, similar to Karen. She kept saying, is this a dream? Is this a dream? Am I really here? Am I really seeing the Pope? And it's just amazing. So dreams really do come true. Let's talk about, we're getting folks on YouTube making some comments, but let's go back to the phones. Elise in Indiana on Annunciation Radio is waiting. Hi, Elise. Welcome.
Hi, Debbie. I've called your show before. I'm one of your Protestant listeners. Just love the program.
Thank you. I know. Thank you for calling back. We appreciate it. You go right ahead.
Okay. So I've had a lot of dreams come true related to travel. I was kind of inspired by that first call. Mm-hmm. So when I was really little, one of the defining moments in my life, and it sounds, it's sad and dark, but there's a silver lining too, the events of 9/11, the terrorist attack, that's one of my early memories. So I guess because of that, I always had a place in my heart for New York City in particular, mm-hmm. and knew that I just kind of had this feeling in my heart, someday I'm going to go there and I'm going to stand where those towers were. And it was just heavy on my heart for a long time, and it kind of in the back of my mind. I didn't really say it out loud or anything, but I could envision myself there. And then a couple of years ago, I had the opportunity, a friend of mine who's way more travel savvy than I am. I don't get out too much, actually. but she's been all over the world, and she offered to take me basically anywhere I wanted to go in the U.S., and I said New York City is where I want to go. Big jump for me as a country girl, too, but I got to stand right there, and similar to the last caller, a lot of moments walking around New York, I just felt like I was in a dream, and I couldn't believe I was there. It was honestly a big answer to prayer. There was a lot about it. It was full of God moments. But I started to look back on my life and realize there have been a lot of things like that where I felt like I had a desire early on, and then it would come to pass later. And it's just incredible to like trace that throughout my life. And I asked the Lord recently, sometimes I feel spoiled, and I wonder why. And I sometimes feel like, why do other people not have all these blessings that I have? And I feel kind of bad about it almost. But I told God, why is it that you spoil me so much? Why do you bless me with all these answers to prayer and like dreams coming true? And I felt like he said, kind of in my heart, just, Elise, because I know you'll appreciate it so much, and it delights me to delight you, and to make you smile makes me smile. He didn't it wasn't like words, clear words, but I had that strong sense that he was saying it's like, because I know you turn it back in gratitude, and I love that exchange with you. It's kind of what I felt like he said.
Right. Well, I want to confirm that, Elise, because the people that I know that are really curious about what God can do and explore God's magnificence, they tend to receive more of that. And I know that from people. Yeah. So I would like to confirm that for you, because I just believe that inspiration, or that feeling that God was speaking to you in that way, I just feel that to be true. I'm thinking of a person right now. He lives in Texas, and he sees things that other people don't see, because he absolutely sees the detail of God, the next level of God, or the greatness, the magnificence of God. He sees that in a vibrancy that I have never seen. I've never heard or seen in anybody else. And because of that, God continues to reveal parts of himself to him on a regular basis. And so I think it has a lot to do with our curiosity, our effort, our intention to want to know God more and to be closer to God and to try to grasp as much of God as possible as we can on this side of the veil. So I love that about you. I would say never lose that, because I think that is, in my opinion, humble opinion, that's very pleasing to God. I have a very big holy curiosity too, Elise, and I always have wanted to go bigger and bigger with God, not so much for myself, but I just love to see God do great things. Like, maybe it's because I live in the Grand Canyon state, and if you've ever been to the Grand Canyon, you're like, wow, this is incredible. When you're seeing the Grand Canyon, things like that are just so extraordinary in creation, and you're thinking, man, he can do so much more than that even in our everyday lives. It's just amazing. And so I think that is so important that we hold on to that and we build on that. Because like I said, it allows us to open ourselves up so we can receive more of him on this side of the veil, so that, God willing, when we get to heaven, we'll be able to receive more of him in the beatific vision. And so it's really a beautiful journey when you think about it. I love that about you, Elise. Anything else you wanted to share? And I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Karen. What do you say to people that are losing their dreams and losing hope?
Oh man. It's easy to do, but I would just say focus on the good things that have already happened. I always try to flip things around. Like if there's a situation where, for example, something I always think of is if somebody comes to church that hasn't been to church in a long time, you could look at them and think, oh man, I wish they were coming to church regularly. Mm-hmm. Or you could think, thank God they're here today. Like this moment would not have had to have happened, but it is, and that's a miracle. Right. So just and looking at it from a position of just receiving the wonder of life instead of assuming like, things should be this way. Why aren't they this way? Just start at ground zero. Interesting, I said that. But start at ground zero and just assume like we're really owed the fact that God graces and blessings is, we should be stunned every time we wake up and see a beautiful sunrise. I know that sounds a little cheesy, but that's my take. But also,
I'm losing you a little, Elise. Okay,
I wanted to go there.
Wait, one more time. What did you say? One more time. I lost you a little bit. One more time.
Me?
Yes, go ahead, Elise. One more time. Can you say it again, what you just said? Because I missed it.
Okay. Yeah, New York City is kind of a rough place and has been through a lot and is still going through a lot. So some people in my life were surprised that I wanted to go there and, worried for me. I understand that, and I was careful while I was there. But I saw it through the eyes of beauty. Like, I did not see anything ugly while I was there. And maybe it was just my perspective. I don't know. But I saw it as absolutely beautiful, and I saw like a redemptive vision of what it can be one day and what
Beautiful. Beautiful. Will you hear the music, Elise? I love talking to you. Please check in with us again. I appreciate it. We're talking about dreams. We want to know your dreams. Would you please call in and share to this wonderful episode of Take Two when I come back? Want to be notified when Take Two with Jerry and Debbie goes live on Facebook? Follow EWTN Radio's Facebook page and click on the bell icon to be notified.
This is a Messy Family Minute with Mike and Alicia Hernan. When it comes to screens and our kids, there are two common pitfalls we as parents can fall into. We often give our children technology before they're ready for it because it's convenient. Give the baby a phone to play with, turn on a movie. It's easy, right? But convenience should not be the primary motivation for giving children and teens a screen.
On the other hand, it can be tempting to ban all technology in the home, especially smartphones. It's one less headache to deal with, right? But the problem is, it's our job to prepare our children for life. Someday they will need to learn to navigate the web or use a smartphone, and it's our job to teach them that.
So when a child is small, ban technology from them. They need time to grow. But as they become older, you have to start building Christian maturity in them. And that means giving them freedom while teaching them how to use tech wisely so they can build virtue.
To download our free and updated resource on screens and kids, visit us at messyfamilyminute.org.
Hi, this is Father Mike Schmitz. I invite you to listen to Bible in a Year and Catechism in a Year here on EWTN Radio. On Bible in a Year, we're reading all the way from Genesis through Revelation, plus time for explanations and reflections to help us go deeper into God's Word, encounter His voice, and learn how to live life through the lens of Scripture.
Bible in a Year and Catechism in a Year with Father Mike Schmitz, tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on EWTN Radio.
Matt Swaim here. Tomorrow on the Sunrise Morning Show, we'll talk to Dr. Dan Keepler, author of the new book, Darwin and Doctrine, plus news, weather, sports, and a whole lot more. Now back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
We're talking about dreaming big with God today. I love this topic. I love talking about this, but I really want to hear from you. So tell us, are you guys living the dream? Have you been envisioning something for many years and now you are actually living it? Maybe you always wanted to have a big family and you have, 7 kids. Maybe you wanted to live out in the country and you do. Maybe you wanted the job that was your dream job and you have it. Maybe you always wanted to work for the church and you're working for the church. Are you living the dream? Will you call in and share with us, please? I'd love to hear your story. Like, I loved that Elise went to Ground Zero in New York City, and because she really felt that in her heart to go there, and I'm so glad she did. I had the same kind of tug in my spirit. I was raised in New Jersey. After 9/11 happened, I was in Arizona for many years, and I had to go back to Ground Zero. And I took my family back there and to New York, and it was the same kind of wonderful experience. I felt like I was I was walking around, and it did feel dreamlike in a sense, and it was incredible, and the people were amazing as always. And it's wonderful to do that and to pay the respects and to remember, always to remember. And history is important. So I love that Elise did that. And Karen was sharing her dreams of when she was younger and sharing about going to a wonderful place to visit. And then she got to visit with her son. I mean, it's just incredible how these things come true. So have your dreams come true? Or maybe you're still waiting, or maybe you're wondering, what's wrong with me? How come my dreams don't come true? Let's talk about it, because maybe we can change that for you today. But you have to call in, because I'd love to meet you and I'd love to chat a little bit, and you can be helping other souls with the conversations that we have here. Plus, your story is very important. So stop what you're doing. You don't have to be Catholic to call in and dial this number, 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. I want to do a really big shout out to one of our great EWTN radio partners, because they need to hear from you next week. Salt and Light Radio, with 12 stations in English and Spanish, serving Idaho, kicks off their fall pledge drive on Wednesday. So please support your Catholic radio station when they come to you and they say it's fall pledge drive time and we need your help. Very important that everybody steps up. And please don't forget EWTN as well. Remember, we need Catholic radio now more than ever. I'm waving to YouTube. You guys have got the chats going. Surah says, hello, Take Two family. Hello, Surah. My dream is to visit Italy, Rome, and meet the Pope, see the Shroud of Turin. Oh yeah, it would also be a dream come true if I retired soon. Okay. I hope I always pronounce it Surah. Tell me if I'm doing that correctly. You can always call back, or you can write it in. We want to make sure we pronounce your name correctly, or it could be Surah, but it's a beautiful name. Thank you so much. And you're with us and you travel with us on Take Two, and we love that. Thank you. But I think you should go to Italy, should go to Rome. I think it would be wonderful if you could meet the Pope, and definitely Shroud of Turin. Absolutely. Ethan on YouTube says, my dream came true in August and I bought a home. Congratulations, Ethan. After renting for 10 years, when I looked outside my condo, I was stunned. The Blessed Sacrament and church were facing me. God blinded me to this prior. Wow. See, God is present. That is incredible, Ethan. What a blessed condo you live in. I love that. Okay. And so, okay, it's okay. So we're getting more calls. Okay, Jerry just checked in. He just finished at the seminary, so he's actually listening to the show right now, because it's kind of cool that he's listening to all the stories. So let's keep talking about dreams and dreaming big. And we've got other folks calling in. I'd love to hear from you. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. That is the number to call if you are living the dream, if you have, you're still waiting for your dream to come true, if your dream maybe didn't happen right now, or maybe you have to maybe change the type of dream that you're going for. You know, I do know there are a lot of people that do just dream to win the lottery. They think, okay, if I win the lottery, everything will be great, all my bills will be paid, and I'll live happily ever after. But, you know, that's just not true. You look at the statistics, people that win the lottery end up going broke, or they lose their relationships or things of that nature. So there's more to that. But a lot of times the dreams that really are so meaningful are those that revolve around your own spiritual growth, relationships, because we're made for community. So relationship is a big thing. And, you know, those dreams that really can push you to the next level of, you know, a spiritual maturity is something that is so wonderful for all of us as human beings, right? sometimes people go for the quick dream. They go, I know this from life coaching all the time. They go for that quick dream that they really want to explore because they're either in pain or, something's going on in their life, a disappointment, a loss. And they think that this one thing will shake them out of it, make them feel better. But, life is difficult. Life goes up and down, has its twists and turns. It can be really rough at times, and sometimes it can be really smooth, and you feel like, wow, life is easy and it's going well and everything's good. It's just life. Life is that roller coaster ride, and it's important that we embrace it in ways that we learn and grow from it, and get out of it what we need so that we can get closer to God. That's how I look at life. Now, if you disagree with me, please call in because I would love to have a conversation. I'm always trying to learn and grow, always. I feel like I'm on this endless, quest to constantly learn and absorb and experience before I leave this earth. So for me, I love that. I think I'm very open-minded, and I definitely have I think a patience and to really sit with others and to listen and learn. Some people don't. Some people are like, yeah, just give me the Cliff Notes version. Let's go. And that's not me. I love the details. So let's hear what Lorraine has to say. Lorraine's near Albany, New York, on Pax et Bonum. Did I say that correctly? I hope I did. I'll check with Matt because I think he can speak Latin. Hi, Lorraine. Welcome.
Hi, Debbie. You wanted to know about dreams.
Yes, I do.
Well, it was years ago, maybe 15 or so years ago, that I had this strange dream of two rows of young, I presume, African women. They were singing and dancing some kind of a ritual song, but they weren't smiling. And I got the impression from what they were singing, I don't know the language, that they were asking for help. But it wasn't an immediate help, like they weren't starving or in pain. And I told my pastor about it. He said, maybe she become a missionary. And I said, no, an old woman doesn't become a missionary, and I don't know the language. So I just kept the memory of that dream for months and months. And one day I opened the newspaper, and there was this advertisement about a local woman who was sewing menstrual products to take to Africa. What she found out is that the girls there have to drop out of school because they can't go to school when they have their period, so then they fall behind in their studies, and then they have to drop out, and their parents marry them off early, and the cycle of poverty increases. But by getting these products to them, they can stay in school and graduate and have more of a future. So I joined their organization and helped sew these products, and twice a year she goes to Africa, delivers them, shows them how to use these things, how to care for them. And I think it's a beautiful thing that she's done. She calls it moon catches.
So, and you're actually part of it now, Lorraine?
I was before COVID.
Before COVID, okay.
Changed everything.
Yeah.
Now I do send her donations so that she can get the material and go there. And the organization has become much bigger. Now what she does is she's trained women in Africa how to sew.
Yeah.
And she's gotten donations of sewing machines. So she set this up in 2 or 3 countries in Africa.
Right.
I was so happy to be part of it with her, to give her donations to do this.
Well, yeah, and you saw the vision in the dream, and then it played out where you could be a part of it by way of helping, and then helping with financial donations. That is fascinating. See, what my takeaway on that is that God, you were receptive, Lorraine. So God placed this dream in front of you, and you saw it. It became something that was you accepted it, right? And then you moved in the direction of something that you could do to be a part of it. the interesting thing of what you just said, and I've heard other stories like this, similar, in that I have heard it said that, God taps many people, but it's the ones that are receptive, the ones that are open to receiving what he wants and are ready, that they will act. And you did. And see, I think that my takeaway of this is that I think it's important that we, and I'm speaking for myself too, that I need to do this too, because I don't always do this well. We need to be open to God of what he wants for us, because we have it in our minds what we think we need to do next, right? What we think is the next steps or the next chapters of our life. But God may want something else from us. And if we are open and he taps us like he did with you in this dream, we will respond, hopefully, if we do have that receptivity to the point where we are willing to entertain it. I think a lot of times we get so busy and distracted, and that's the demons doing that to us. We get busy and distracted that we aren't open to it, and we are very controlled in the way we take on our life. And you can see that with people. All you have to do is look at people during the daytime when they're with their gadgets, when they're with their phones, and they're driving and on their phone, and they're eating and they're on their phone, and they're walking and they're on their phone. So they've put their time and attention to something that they feel is more important. So, and it's interesting that God reached you in this dream. So that's very fascinating. And then you look at people who really are struggling to go to sleep at night because they have so much stimulation during the day that they can't even rest at night, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I'm grabbing a lot of details from your particular story because this is actually helping me, and I wonder if it's helping others as well. This idea of just getting to a calm place, getting a good night's rest. If the Lord wants to impart something to us that is a benefit for us to do something well, and you did with this wonderful mission work here in Africa. I mean, that's incredible, to help women to be able to be more, independent, and to learn skills and to get out of things like poverty. I mean, spot on, Lorraine. That is incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, Lorraine, what would you say? I'm asking all the callers today, what would you say to people that they don't really dream anymore? They've lost the dreams. They've kind of lost hope. A lot of people have. It's very sad. What would you say to them?
Well, when you get to the later years in life, you don't have the same dreams as you do when you were younger. Mm-hmm. So I just stay close to God and stay close to your family and take each day at a time. Because I don't plan big trips or vacations like I did when I was younger, because I know I don't have the same stamina. I just go day by day.
So
God
you go.
shows me different things to do.
Right.
Gives me plenty to do.
Right. Right. So it's it's similar to what Elise was saying too, and Karen. So really, stay in the moment. Be open to God's will for that day. Don't, maybe not go too far into the future, but definitely don't go into the past, because you can't really change the past. Well, maybe that's the other question I should ask you, because I like that you do try to stay in the moment. What do you think about people who dwell on the past all the time, Lorraine? It's very hard for them to dream big when they're thinking of the past.
Right. And it's hard to accomplish anything because you're stuck.
Yep.
How many times they say, well, this is the way we always used to do it. Well, that doesn't mean we should continue doing it that way.
Yeah.
There are always other options. Explore the options. Maybe we should continue doing things the same way, but maybe not. The only way you'll find out is if you look at all other options.
Right. Well said, Lorraine. You're awesome. Thank you so much for weighing in on this conversation. We really appreciate it. And God bless you. Have a beautiful rest of your day in upstate New York, okay?
Thank you. You too, Debbie. Debbie. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, you can jump in and finish this wonderful episode of dreaming. What is your dream come true? What would it be? Did you have your dreams come true? Are you living the dream? You know, that's there's billboards all over the place. Weigh in on this. Let's finish the conversation in a strong fashion on this wonderful Thursday. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. Okay, I wanted to share The World Over is tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio and TV. And tonight it's going to be it's always a great show, but just listen to this. We've got Raymond Arroyo's got Robert Royal and Father Gerald Murray on the new and first apostolic exhortation, I Have Loved You, by Pope Leo XIV, and other big stories of the week. So this is going to be really good. The first apostolic exhortation. Devon Franken is one of the stars of the inspiring new movie Soul on Fire, a true story based on the life and experience of firefighter and burn victim John O'Leary. The World Over. The World Over with Raymond Arroyo is tonight at 8 Eastern Time on EWTN TV and radio. And get the news from the World Over in your email inbox every week. Visit EWTN.com and click on subscribe. Okay, Jerry sends his apologies. He went a little bit longer at the seminary today, so he is listening, and we miss him. He'll be back with us. He's in the middle of classes and all sorts of things, getting the first semester accomplished at the seminary for this year. He's getting closer and closer to that ordination time, which is going to be really in just a couple of years, but it's like right around the corner, because we're going fast with him, traveling with him day to day, and how he's doing in the seminary, and he's doing well. So we will have him back on next week on the show. But I'd love to hear from you. If you have more comments in the chats about dreams, at this point, I think I'm gonna change gears just a little bit, or switch gears just a little bit. We talked about that yesterday, switching gears, and I'm going to share a little bit about what we like to impart to people that come to us for coaching about dreams. Do I believe that you should dream big? The answer is yes. And I say that all the time. This is me talking now. I believe you should dream big, and you should definitely dream big with God, because I've said this many, many times, because he goes big with you. And we just serve a very big God. He doesn't know, of course, he knows how to do everything, but he does things in really massive ways. And so when we put all our confidence, when we put all our trust in God in a very big way, and we don't pull back, there's a way of putting your trust, pushing your chips all in, like Adam Bly, religious demonologist, says all the time. He pushes all his chips in with God. When we push all our chips in and have that extreme faith and trust in God, and we don't take it back, because many of us, we say we trust God, we actually speak the words that we trust God, but then when we are living our life, we're pulling it back and we're taking control. We're maneuvering, we're manipulating, we are trying to predict the outcome. Okay, so that's not really an example of really putting all your trust in God. That's saying it, but then really living it out is something else. But when you can work your hardest on a regular basis to put all your trust in God, if it is God's will, and you need to be in that receptive state. And so how do you get in that good place? Well, get in a state of grace, stay in a state of grace as long as possible, so that you can receive clear messages. The clarity comes when you're in a state of grace, okay? Not that, if you're not in a state of grace, it's not like God has abandoned you or anything like that. But think of it like, I always use the analogy, the example of a garden hose, right? If you put your foot on a garden hose, the water can still come through, but it's going to trickle out. It's not going to have that steady stream coming out of the hose, right? Because you've kinked the hose, right? That's what happens when you have a break with sin. It's got the graces are still there and somewhat available, right? But it's going to have a kind of a skewed feeling to it, or a strange, murky kind of view to it. You want a clear signal. So I always recommend for people to get in a state of grace, stay in a state of grace as long as possible, dream big with God, but work your way towards increasing your faith and trust and surrender to God, because that's where you're going to see incredible things. And I have seen it in my own life, and I have seen it in others. Those that can have that extreme faith and trust and really dream big, and God has been incredible. I'll give you a great example. In my opinion, just reading the stories that I've read, the books that I've read that Raymond Arroyo has written on Mother Angelica, perfect example. Mother Angelica's story. I mean, she had to have that extreme, trust and belief in God in order to accomplish what we are experiencing today, the largest religious media network in the world, EWTN. I mean, this is incredible. You can't make this stuff up, and that comes from trusting in God, surrendering to His will, and dreaming big. Because God doesn't go, He doesn't goes really. I mean, He does do tons of small things. I mean, everything He puts His effort into the fine detail of things. Absolutely, but He's a big God, and it's very exciting. So just hold on to that excitement, and when you feel down, then spend time in quiet time in prayer with the Lord in front of the Blessed Sacrament, in front of the Lord, and say to Him, "I want to dream big, Lord." Just ask Him. Go to adoration, 10 minutes. You'll be so beautifully surprised. Okay, Mark in Yuma, Arizona on Yuma Catholic Radio. Hi, Mark. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. You go right ahead.
Well, Christine, thank you for your program. Every time that I hear your show, you and Jerry, you guys come with questions that really make me think about how that I'm doing on my faith, on being as a Catholic, and but my story about dream come true was, Kristen, I wasn't really a Catholic that really practiced the faith, but then me and my wife went to a marriage encounter retreat. After that, God changed my life and made me have to come through the few dreams. But one of the dreams that I can tell is when I was coming to church every Sunday, I wanted to be like proclaiming the word of the Lord, be reading the word of the Lord on the Mass, and so after that, I started getting a little more involved in the community, my church community. Then they asked for people to come and read the word of the Lord, and I said, I want to be there. So since then, in 1986, I was like being in church pretty much every Sunday, trying not to miss any Mass. But it came through, and I think it's something that I live my dream every Sunday, like really proclaiming the word, like really feeling what the Lord is telling me that day. And I don't know, it's amazing how the Lord works on each person, and especially on me, that He's been changing the way that I live. My lifestyle is different, and actually another dream is like to really, because the reason we went to marriage encounter, me and my wife, is because we almost divorced. But thanks to God, saved my marriage, saved me as a person, be a good father, good husband, and I don't know, too many dreams. But that was one of the main ones I want to share with you.
I love it, Mark. I love it. And I love the passion and the enthusiasm and the excitement as you talk about the living word of God, right? And you were saying about proclaiming the word of the Lord. I love that because it's the living word of God, but we come alive in it as well. And it's incredible, Mark, what you've said. You could write a book about it, and probably you should, Mark. You should probably tell your story more than on Take Two, maybe maybe write a book with your wife. I think it would be beautiful. Thank you so much, Mark from Yuma, Arizona. Great contribution to close this great episode. Thank you to the show team, Matt and Michael and Pedro, doing such a fine job behind the scenes. Thank you to all the affiliates that allow this program to go live weekdays, because you give an opportunity for your listeners to participate. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about, can you tell when someone is genuine or not? Ooh, that's going to be a good show tomorrow. Until then, have a beautiful and blessed day. We'll see you real soon.
What's life coaching? Life coaching has been around for many years, helping people with their relationships, careers, health, and finances. With Stand Tall, it's all Christ-centered. We focus on mind, body, and spirit.